Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Please come in. We want to start our Shabbat service. Ah, you're there. Please come in.
Shabbat Shalom.
As we start this transition into Shabbat, I invite you to leave behind the conversation that you were having, or we were having, to the person sitting next to us, and to embrace this sacred dialogue that we try to create together.
Friday was a historical morning in Israel. Breshit, Israel's spacecraft, was successfully launched this morning, or yesterday morning, beginning a journey of what will be about a month, hopefully culminating with Israel being the 4th country to land on the moon.
Wow.
This is a momentous occasion on so many levels, but I bring it forward as we enter Shabbat for 2 reasons. Number one, This week's Parsha, Ki Tavo, is all about building as well. God asks Moses to build a water basin that will eventually be used for anointing priests. The Israelites ask Aaron to build a golden calf, and then Moses has to go and ask God for new tablets after the first set have broken. Building means that there is a strong enough foundation for things to be developed upon, and it means that there's growth. It means that something is happening and building and growing. I think what we can learn from Torah here is that even when there's breakage, there can be regrowth, there can be new building, there can be new formation, especially when you turn towards a team, when you turn towards somebody else, and when you ask for help. Bereshit, this spaceship, is just that. It's a joint venture between two companies. Countless educators, scientists, and engineers are powering this amazing mission that Israel is putting forth for the world. And it's way more miraculous than any one person can accomplish on their own. The second reason that I bring this before you before we begin Shabbat is because it's happy news. It's about Israel, but it's also about science, and it's about our world. And I think that we can all just bring in a little bit more good news into our week and into our lives. And I hope that this, along with your happy and good memories from the week that have populated your memories just now, I hope, will fill our Shabbat lights with blessing.
As we welcome this Shabbat together, we also take a moment to acknowledge each of you and to welcome you into our community. If this is the first time that you come to TBT, welcome. If you came all the way from Argentina, be very welcome. Bienvenidos. And do you have any other person who is the first time at TBT? So welcome, welcome. And if you are an Eder Rav, like almost a rabbi, and about to be ordained rabbi, you came all the way from the very, very cold New York City to the slightly cold California. We welcome also Rabbi Tobias Dibak-Mos. We welcome at TBT. It is an honor and a pleasure, zchut gdola, to have you here with us. And as we finish acknowledging our presence here, we will take a moment to light Shabbos candles. I'd like to invite Danny and Lauren Klatzker to light Shabbat candles with us. You can follow them on page 120. Please rise. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. And thinking about this love, we turn our Sidurim to page 129. welcome Shabbat with a deep sense of joy. Lechu neranena la'Adonai. We are at the top of page 130.
Lechu neranena la'Adonai, nariya letzur yisheinu. Lechu neranena la'Adonai, nariya letzur yisheinu.
L'Adonai, nariya letzur yisheinu, lekatmat panav v'toda mizmirot, nariya lo, lekatmat panav v'toda mizmirot, nariya lo. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. In Shabbat, we try to acknowledge the different sounds of our existence. And as we recognize them, we try to embrace them and channel them into a song. Sambrula Adonai Bechinor. We are on page 134.
Adonai בכינור וכל זמרה, בחצוצרות וכל שופר, הריעו לפני המלך אדוני.
ירם ימום לו, תבל ויושבי בה.
עין עין בהרות,
עמך וכף כף יחד, הרים ילדינו.
לפני אדוני כיבד, ישפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים
במישרים. ירם ימום לו, תבל ויושבי בה.
עין עין בהרות,
עמך וכף יחד, הרים ילדינו.
כף יחד, הרים
ילדינו. Our tradition compares Shabbat with the beauty of a bride. And as we get into the center, into the core of our Kabbalat Shabbat, we think about how to bring that beauty and that sense of sacredness to our lives. We sing here at TBT the first, the second, the fifth, the sixth, and the ninth verses of Lecha Dodi on page 138.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, שם עוד בזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיע לו המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו לנבח, כי מכל הברכה, מראש מקדם וזוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי בהורך קומי הורי, הורי הורי, שיר חברי, כאות אדוני חלק נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקרבי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי, בככסו אני אאמין, ונפנתה והיללתי לה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני הסגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה, וחלו לי לקראת כלה, בני שבת קבלה. יאי לי 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 לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת וקבלה. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Now that you are standing, you might take this opportunity to actually walk to each other and say Good Shabbos. You can actually recognize and acknowledge each other and take a moment to say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. So dear to me, at my age. Shabbat Shalom. I tell you when. Stay for my sermon. Want to announce it?
Shabbat, we are going to pause our conversations, take our seats again, and start celebrating Shabbat. We are singing a song for Shabbat. How good is it that Shabbat is here? We get to celebrate, we get to thank God, we get to celebrate being together and just appreciate this moment that we have in time. Page 140.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון בכינור, צדיק כתמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו, עוד ינובון בשיבה,
page 144. חצי קדיש.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברי חירותיו יניח מלכותיו, בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתך בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם והוויה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקדושה לילה מן כה ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Please rise on page 146 for Baruch, as we ask for the gates of prayer to be open before and within us.
ברכו את אדוני
Page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim v'chokhmah poteach she'arim uvituna meshane itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or uma'avir yom u'mevi layla umavtil ben yom u'ben layla Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai
Ma'ariv Aravim.
Amen. As we get closer to the Shema, we take a moment to think about the source of an everlasting love. I invite you just for a moment to close your eyes and to think about something that makes you feel deeply loved. And as we focus on that energy, person, moment, landscape, we let the light of that presence fill wholeness of our bodies. As we breathe in, take a deep breath, and out. And once again, we breathe in, and out. Say, dear God, please never remove that love from us. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Israel. And once again, take a deep breath and become one. Shema Israel.
Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'otecha vehayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם נאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. אמת ומון הכל סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל עמו.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt. There's a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
Bogel yam dif moy shom miriam
גאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. And after the blessing for redemption, Chamocha, we try to find some space for our inner peace. Shkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, we ask to be covered by a shelter of peace that surrounds us, but also comes from Bifnim, from within.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will pray one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, ve'avidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leShalom, ve'avidenu shomrenu lechaim. Ufos aleinu sukat shlomecha, ותקננו בעצה טוב מלפניך. All my life I've been praying for, I'm praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will pray one day, one day, one
אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel. The shelter of peace is spread over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem, your holy city. We turn our Siddurim to page 162. For the Shamru B'nai Israel, as we think about this transgenerational covenant that rabbis say it's not that Israel kept Shabbat alive, but Shabbat kept Israel alive.
Shamru B'nai Israel Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
bayom asher yhi Shabbat vayinavash Yom lai 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 We turn our Sidurim to page 164 as we start Filat Amidah, a moment for your silent prayer. You can follow the words of our tradition, or alternatively, you can try to find Filat Shebalev, the prayer of your heart.
Adonai, Zafatai Tiftach, Ufi Agitei Latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
לרצון אמרי פי, בהגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני, צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. We are at the bottom of page 180.
Say Shalom b'Roma. Oh, yeah, say Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru
Yishaberach Lecholim, a prayer for those who are in need of healing of body and mind and of spirit, and the caregivers who devote their hearts and their souls to support those whose bodies are doing the hard and heavy lifting. If you are thinking of somebody this Shabbat and want to bring their name into our community so that we can offer prayers together, I invite you to share a name aloud or in your heart as my hand passes across the room.
Complete and a fast recovery. Let us say,
Amen.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos.
Here. I don't know about you, but the heater is very strong here. It's quite warm. So, how many of you complain about forgetting things? So, we usually think about memory as a purely positive value and forgetfulness as a negative one. It turns out that in Jewish tradition, these two values are a bit more nuanced. In this week's Torah portion, Parashat Kol HaKavod Ki Tisa, we learn about Moses descending from Mount Sinai with the tablets of the covenant, Luchot HaBrit, that were given to him by God. And as he makes it down to the bottom, he encounters the children of Israel worshiping the Egel Asaaf, the golden calf. Witnessing the scene, what does he do? He throws down the tablets, smashing them at the foot of the mountain. The rest of the Torah portion will focus on exploring how to repair this broken triangle between God, Moshe, and the people of Israel. As we continue reading, we learn that a new set of tablets will be written by Moshe, and that the new and the broken one will be kept together in the ark. In the rabbinical literature, we see that the sages understood the inclusion of the first tablets in the ark as a divine endorsement of Moshe having smashed them. One of the rabbis goes as far as saying that God said, Ishar Koach, that God congratulated Moshe for breaking the tablets. In the Talmud, Eruvin 54a, and lastly, Rabbi Eleazar said, what is the meaning of that which is written? And the tablets were the work of God. So the first set, the rabbis are saying, they were written, engraved by God. And the writing was, here they say it, the writing was written by God, engraved upon the tablets. This teaches that had the first tablets not been broken, the Torah would never have been forgotten from the Jewish people, as the Torah would have been engraved upon their hearts. And I'm totally sure that you yet don't understand that the rabbis are saying that it is actually a good thing for us to forget the Torah. Say yes now. Yes. Perfect. Now, so with that conclusion that we just reached reading the Talmud, now you need to ask, why do the rabbis want us not to engrave the Torah upon our hearts? Why do they want us to forget? And this reminds me of Funes de Memorios, a short story by the famous Argentinian writer Jorge Luis Borges. Funes was a young man who suffered a horseback riding accident and was hopelessly crippled. In this story, Funes tells Borges that since his fall from the horse, he perceives everything in full detail and remembers it all. He remembers, for example, the shape of the clouds at all given moments, as well as the associated perceptions of each moment. In order to pass the time, Funes has engaged in projects such as reconstructing a full day's worth of past memories, an effort which takes him another full day because he remembers everything, and constructing a system of enumeration that gives each number a different arbitrary name. Borges correctly points out to him that this is precisely the opposite of a system of enumeration, but Funes is incapable of such understanding. Funes, we are told, is incapable of Platonic ideas, of generalities, of abstraction. His world is one of intolerably and uncountable details. He finds it very difficult to sleep since he recalls every crevice and every molding of the various houses which surround him. When dawn reveals Funes' face, only 19 years old, Borges sees him as monumental as bronze, more ancient than Egypt, he says. A couple of weeks later, Borges comes to visit again to find out that Funes has died from congestion of the lungs. He couldn't breathe anymore. Forgetfulness, explains Nietzsche, is not just something random that happens to us, but is rather the active ability to suppress, to which we owe the fact that we can simply live through, experience, take in. It is, he says, to shut the doors and windows of consciousness for a while, to make room for something new. That's the benefit of active forgetfulness. Like a doorkeeper or guardian of mental order from which we can immediately see how there could be no happiness, hope, pride, immediacy without forgetfulness. If the words of Torah were all to be engraved in our hearts, there would be no renewal. There would be no discovery. It would be impossible to keep learning Torah. Forgetfulness is a central element that allows us to become seekers of a relationship. You can't embrace what is stuck to you. The rabbis foresee a risk in bearing a legacy engraved by the words of God. It would be something that can't be carried by human hands. And we would become slaves of our own memory. The rabbis further point out that the word engraved, harut in Hebrew, can also be read as, very similar word in Hebrew, herut, which means freedom. When the words of Torah come from herut, freedom, then the legacy becomes sustainable. We started our conversation saying that forgetfulness and memory are nuanced in Jewish tradition. Ironically, the broken tablets in the ark are actually a reminder. A reminder that forgetfulness can be the spark of renewal, that creativity is born when we recognize brokenness, and that powerful relationships aren't engraved, but rather embraced with freedom. As we celebrate this Shabbat of Parashat Ki Tisa, may we find the time to reflect on what are the memories that deprive us from the spark of renewal and which we need to let go. May we find the strength to revise what is not supposed to be engraved in our hearts so we can heal broken relationships and with fresh eyes take on new commitments. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We turn our Sidurim to page 586 for Aleinu Reshabeach. Please rise as we open the ark.
עתיד גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כמויי הרצות, ולא עשנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, והשמות האלה לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, והארץ ועל הארץ מתחת עינות.
לתקן עולם במלכות שדי,
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Baby seated.
Miss me last week.
All the time I miss you. I don't know what to do with that.
Now let's take some time to remember those who are no longer with us and to become a place of comfort for those mourning. If you are in the first 7 days, if you are in a period of Shiva, I invite you to rise and share with us who you are remembering this Shabbat. If you are in a period of Shloshim in the first 30 days, I invite you to rise and share who you're remembering. If you are in the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and remind us who you are remembering this Shabbat. If you are observing a yard site or remembering someone at this time in this season, I invite you to rise and share who you're remembering. We now rise as a community and join in Kaddish on page 598.
יגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם ולעלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קדושה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן.
May the memories of your dear ones be a living blessing in your life. Zichronam lebracha. You may be seated. So a few important pieces of information. Again, Rabbi Mos, we welcome to our community. It is an honor to have you with us in this Shabbat. Tomorrow, where are you? Where is she? Yeah, there you are.
No.
We don't, you are our you, Miriam. Every time that we say you know, Buber meant God, and we mean you. Like, So it's a kind of true, you know that, right? You are always the doubt, Miriam. It's always you. So tomorrow we start. I would say the celebration of Miriam's journey. Okay, retirement party. But I do things. There are a few more months until you actually leave. And we are starting to work, to emotionally work on that. But tomorrow we start to celebrate Miriam's presence and gift of 30 years to our community. So I hope that you are joining us. And if you don't have the opportunity to join the gala, make sure that you let her know at some point how much you love her. Write her a note. Hug her. Talk to her. I don't know. Go with her for lunch. This is a great opportunity to enjoy her presence that has been a real blessing for our community for so many years in general and personally for me. For 3.5, almost 4 years, Miriam. And don't start that. Don't start that because tomorrow I am delivering a speech, Miriam. And I totally can't change it. From love to more love. Now, so in any case, please join us in celebration. Tomorrow morning, we have at 9 a.m. our traditional Torah study and Havaya school. And at 10 a.m., services. At 10 a.m. we have services. We will have a baby naming. Please join us in that wonderful simcha. Next week, Ilana and Ilana. So next week, it's you, Ilana.
Hopefully I'm working.
It's you. It's good. So next week, Gabby, on Friday night, she's not going to be here because she's moving. So
I'm not moving forever. I'm like,
she's moving, but she needs to be moving that day. So she's not going to be here. And I'm with number 1, number 2, and number 3, and 2 more representatives of TBT. We are going to be arriving to Washington, D.C. To participate in Letaken, the social justice seminar for youth. So Jacob Klasker is going to be there. And Joseph is not here. And Zach, you're there. And Zach is going to be there. So Zach is not going to be in the sound. And Gabby is going to be moving. And I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. Don't worry. Barry Klasker is going to take care of me while I am So I am chaperoning the kids, and he's chaperoning me. So the 2 of us are going together. And Ilana, it's you. It's you. And Michael, where are you? It's you. And Kristen, it's you. So come to support this group of stars and pray with them and enjoy Shabbat with them, a different Shabbat. Anna Ben is going to be leading also a family service. So please join them at 6:30 p.m. for a wonderful Kabbalat Shabbat. And on Saturday morning, what?
Their family services.
Did I say that? I did? You weren't listening. So that's all the information. Now, if you are really, really interested in having a different Shabbat experience in the middle of the month of March, we are going to be celebrating Shabbat in nature in Big Bear. So if you want to learn about that experience, and it's open to everyone, and we have rooms for that are more comfortable than others. And so if you want to learn about the Shabbaton, talk to Miriam, and she talk to our you, and she will be happy to provide you with details. And that's it. So we are going to conclude our service. Can you help us distribute some Kiddush cups? I'd like to invite Cantor Shannon to lead us in Kiddush. In the meanwhile, you can turn your siddur into page 100. Wait a second, Leila. 142 for Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem.
Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch.
Say Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem.
Malachi Asharet.
Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon.
HaKadosh Baruch Oy 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 Ochel Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Oy 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 Seichem Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Mimelech Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Shabbat kosho
Navavu ratzon hinchilanu Zicharo lema'aseh bereshit Ki hu yom tehillah lemikra kodesh Zecher yetziat Mitzrayim Kivanu b'charta V'otanu kidashta
Im kol ha'amim V'shavat kodeshecha Be'ahava u'beratzon Hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Shabbat
L'chaim.
Mark, can you bring the halot? You just can discover them. You have some solder. פותח את ידיך ומצביע לכל חי רצון. ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, המוציא לחם מן הארץ, בתאוות. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. שבת שלום everyone. כי יש מלך שבת אל ישמרני, כי יש מלך שבת אל ישמרני, אותי לאור מיד ונורני, אותי לאור מיד ונורני, כי יש מלך שבת אל ישמרני, כי יש מלך שבת אל ישמרני, אותי לאור מיד ונורני, אותי לאור מיד ונורני.
Shalom.